Hello everyone, welcome back to the Global Conflict News channel. Please subscribe my channel because today we are going to take a closer look at one of the most dramatic developments in the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia, a story that mixes advanced drone warfare, naval strategy, and the shifting balance of power on the Black Sea. The incident in question is the Ukrainian drone strike on a Russian naval vessel, a strike that not only caused physical damage to one of Russia's prized warships but also carried heavy symbolic meaning, showing how modern warfare has been transformed by unmanned systems. To understand what happened, why it matters, and what the long-term implications are, we need to go deep into the details, exploring the exterior of the vessel, its interior, its performance, the safety measures in place, its unique selling points from a military perspective, the cost of such an asset, and finally draw a conclusion about what this means for the future of the war. The story began on a quiet evening in the Black Sea, when Russian naval patrols seemed routine and confidence ran high that their ships were safe behind layers of defense. Out of nowhere, Ukrainian drones, sleek, fast, and almost invisible at night, zeroed in on their target. The target was a Russian ship, one designed to project power and defend strategic waters. These drones, packed with explosives, were not just weapons, they were statements of ingenuity and determination. Ukraine had shifted the battlefield by attacking Russia where it had always felt secure, at sea. The moment of impact sent shockwaves not just through the steel hull of the ship, but also through military headquarters in Moscow. Suddenly, the vulnerability of Russia's navy was exposed, and the world was watching. Looking at the exterior of the ship, the first thing that strikes you is its size and shape. Russian warships in the Black Sea are not small, they are built with intimidating silhouettes, sharp angles to cut through water, and radar equipment perched high above the decks. This particular ship was designed to endure rough conditions, with reinforced steel plating and weapon systems positioned along its sides. To the untrained eye, it looked almost invincible, a fortress on the water. But what Ukraine revealed is that no matter how powerful the exterior appears, modern drones can find weak points. The drones approached low across the water, avoiding radar detection until it was too late. The steel plating that looked so strong was no match for precision-guided strikes that slammed into the sides. Flames burst into the night sky, painting the ship in eerie orange light. The once proud exterior became a fiery spectacle, showing how appearances can be deceiving when innovation meets tradition on the battlefield. Inside the ship, the interior tells a different story. Unlike the exterior, the interior is not about intimidation, it is about function. The Russian vessel housed cramped corridors, control rooms filled with glowing monitors, communication centers buzzing with constant chatter, and the engine rooms that powered the massive frame forward. Sailors and officers lived within these walls, operating in shifts, always alert for incoming threats. But when the drones struck, the interior was thrown into chaos. Lights flickered, alarms screamed, and smoke filled the narrow passages. Unlike modern cruise ships that prioritize comfort, warships are built for efficiency and combat readiness, which means the interiors are tight, metallic, and unforgiving. When panic spread after the explosions, the limited space made evacuation difficult. This is where the shortness of the interior space turned into a disadvantage, showing that safety inside depends entirely on the ability to react quickly under fire. Performance is one of the key measures of any warship, and this Russian vessel had a long record of operations in the Black Sea. Its engines could push it to impressive speeds, allowing it to patrol large areas quickly. Its radar could detect threats at long distances, and its missile systems gave it the ability to strike targets on sea, land, or in the air. In normal circumstances, its performance would make it a formidable opponent. But this incident showed that performance on paper and performance under modern drone attack are two very different things. A ship might be designed to handle traditional missile strikes, but small, maneuverable drones present a new kind of challenge. They can move unpredictably, they can be deployed in swarms, and they cost far less than the missiles designed to stop them. Performance became irrelevant when the ship's systems could not keep up with the speed and stealth of the incoming drones. What once was a weapon of dominance now became a vulnerable target in a new age of warfare. Safety features on the ship were meant to protect the crew and the vessel from various threats. Fire suppression systems, watertight compartments, and defensive countermeasures are all part of the safety design of such a warship. In theory, these features should minimize damage from attacks. But the Ukrainian drones demonstrated how safety can be overwhelmed when multiple systems fail at once. The fire suppression systems were unable to contain the flames after several explosions. The watertight compartments could only delay the inevitable flooding that followed. The crew tried desperately to fight back, using small arms against the drones and activating electronic jammers, but the safety measures were not designed for this kind of assault. Traditional safety in naval warfare is built around the idea of missile defense, not defending against small, fast, low-cost drones that strike from unexpected angles. This shift reveals that naval safety has fallen behind technological evolution, and Russia paid the price for that gap. Unique selling points of the ship, from a military perspective, were supposed to be its versatility, its ability to carry missiles capable of striking far into enemy territory, and its role as a visible symbol of Russian power in the Black Sea. The ship represented more than just metal and machinery, it represented deterrence, the kind of presence that forces adversaries to think twice. But Ukraine turned this unique selling point on its head. By destroying or crippling the vessel, they showed that symbols can be shattered, and deterrence can collapse. The ship's unique strength, its visibility, became its greatest weakness. When everyone knows your warship by name and reputation, its loss becomes a headline, a psychological blow that resonates across nations. What was once a symbol of dominance became a symbol of vulnerability overnight. When it comes to price, Russian warships are not cheap assets. The financial investment is massive, covering not only the materials and technology used in construction but also the training of the crew, the fuel, and the ongoing maintenance. Estimates place the value of such a vessel in the hundreds of millions of dollars, possibly more depending on its specific class and equipment. For Ukraine, however, the cost of the drones used in the strike was a fraction of that. Each drone may cost tens of thousands or at most a few $100,000, meaning the cost ratio of this attack was astonishing. Russia lost a ship worth hundreds of millions to drones worth perhaps less than 1% of that. This lopsided equation is one of the most striking lessons of modern warfare. Technology is shifting power by making expensive assets vulnerable to cheap, mass-produced alternatives. For Russia, the financial loss is staggering, but for Ukraine, the return on investment is historic. The conclusion of this story is not just about one ship, one strike, or even one night in the Black Sea. It is about the changing nature of warfare, where traditional power no longer guarantees security. Ukraine's use of drones has rewritten the rules, showing that even a country facing a larger, better-funded military can find ways to strike back effectively. For Russia, the loss is more than material, it is psychological and strategic. Confidence in naval superiority has been shaken, and every ship in the fleet now sails with the shadow of drones overhead. For the international community, this event is a warning. The age of unmanned systems is here, and every Navy, Air Force, and Army must adapt or risk being left vulnerable. As viewers of this channel know, the war in Ukraine is not just about battles and borders, it is about the future of military technology and the balance of global power. The Ukrainian drone strike on the Russian ship was not an isolated event but part of a larger trend that will shape conflicts to come. It shows that no matter how strong, how expensive, or how intimidating a weapon may appear, innovation can always find a way to break through. And that is why this story matters far beyond the Black Sea. It is a story of courage, ingenuity, and the relentless march of technology into every corner of warfare. Ukraine has shown the world that even under immense pressure, it can innovate and fight back, and that message will echo long after the fires on the Russian ship have been extinguished.